good reputation. His sister had turned to Han because she'd had no one else. The tension drained out of Fei Long, stealing away his rage. His throat pulled tight as he forced out the next word. Go. The two of them stared at him in disbelief. Go, he repeated roughly. Fei Long lowered his weapon and turned away while they dressed themselves. Shoving his sword back into its sheath, he faced the bare wall. He could hear the shuffle of movement behind him as the couple gathered their belongings. The bleakness of the last few weeks settled into his gut like a stone. When he'd left for his assignment to the northwestern garrison, Fei Long had believed his home to be a harmonious place. Upon news of his father's sudden death, he'd returned to find his sister gone and debt collectors circling the front gates like vultures. His father's presence had been an elaborate screen, hiding the decay beneath the lacquered surface of their lives. Fei Long now saw Pearl's arranged marriage for what it was, a desperate ploy to restore the family honor, or rather, to prolong the illusion of respectability. When he turned again, Pearl and Han stood watching him tentatively. Each of them had a pack slung around their shoulder, off to face the horizon with all their belongings stowed in 2 small bags. Han bowed once. Elder brother. The young man risked Fei Long's temper to deliver the honorific. Fei Long couldn't bring himself to return the bow. Pearl met his eyes as they started for the door. The heaviness of her expression struck him like a physical blow. This was the last time he would ever see his sister. Fei Long took his money pouch from his belt and held it out. The handful of coppers rattled inside. Here. Han didn't look at him as he took it. Thank you, Fei Long, Pearl whispered. They didn't embrace. The two of them had been apart for so long that they wouldn't have known how. Fei Long watched their backs as they retreated down the stairway, gone like everything else he had once known to be true. Jilted lover, the cook guessed. Yan Ling's eyes grew wide. The stranger had stormed up the staircase only moments earlier, with the sword strapped to his side and the glint of murder in his deep-set eyes. She'd leapt out of the path of his charge, just managing to hold on to her pot of tea without spilling a drop. She stood at the edge of the main room, head cocked to listen for sounds of mayhem upstairs. Her heart raced as she gripped the handle of the teapot. Such violence and scandal were unthinkable in their quiet town. Should someone stop him? She asked. What? You saw how he was dressed? Old Cook had his feet in the kitchen, but the rest of him strained as far into the dining area as possible. A man like that can do whatever he wants. Get back to work, the proprietor barked. Yan Ling jumped, and the cook ducked his head back through the beaded curtain that separated the main room from the kitchen. Worthless girl, her master muttered as she rushed the pot of tea to its intended table. She pressed her fingers against the ceramic to check the temperature of the pot before setting it down. Cooler than ideal, but still hot enough to not get any complaints. It was late in the morning and the patrons had thinned, but that was never an excuse to move any slower. Lately, it seemed nothing she did was fast or efficient enough. She'd never known any life but the tea house. The story was that she'd been abandoned as an infant in the room upstairs, likely the very same one where a new scandal was now unfolding. She paused to stack empty cups.